Well, here we are on YouTube, Ryan. How you doing?
Good, Nathan. Here we go. This is part two of this album. If you are here for some reason and haven't seen part one, I'd recommend just going out checking out part one because it deals with everything we know about these guys, or the whole hoo-ha of the background of what we're doing here. It's all explained in part one, so we won't bore you with that. So don't bore us. Get to the chorus. Here's track 8. "Letter from God to Man" is the name of the song. Let's get into it.
Okay. This one has a star beside it, by the way, so it might have been a release.
Oh, okay.
Is it quiet on your end?
A little bit. There you go. Go down a little bit. Go down. Yeah, this is the fourth single from the album.
From God to man. It says, "Hey there, how's it going? Long time no see. I know I haven't been around much lately, but it didn't seem like you wanted me to be. The last time I sent down a message, you nailed it to the cross, so I figured I'd just leave you to it, let you be your own boss. But I've been keeping an eye on you, I have, and it's amazing how you've grown, with your technological advances and the problems you've overthrown. All the beautiful art you've created with such grace and such finesse, but I must admit there are a few things I'm afraid have impressed me less. So I'm writing to apologise for horrors committed in my name. Although it was never what I intended, I feel I should take my share of the blame. A lot of the good I tried to was corrupted when organised religion got into full swing. What I thought were quite clear messages were taken to unusual extremes. My teachings were taken out of context to meet the agendas of others. Interpretations taken in different ways, hidden meanings discovered. Religion became a tool for the weak to control the strong. With all these new morals and ethics, survival of the fittest was gone. No longer could the biggest man simply take whatever he needed, cause damnation was the price. If certain rules were not heeded, some of the deeds committed in my name made me wonder I went wrong. Back at the start when I created this, the foundation seemed so strong. See, all the elements were already here. Long before I began, I just kind of put them all together. I didn't really think out a long-term plan. I made the sun an appropriate distance, laid the stars across the sky, so you could navigate this globe or watch the sunrise. I covered the earth with plants and fruit, some for sustenance, some for beauty. Made the sunshine and clouds rain, so their maintenance wasn't your duty. Tried to give each creature own attributes without making them enveloped. Gave you all your own space to grow, in your own way space to develop. I didn't know that such developments would cause rifts and jealousy, cause you to war against each other. Leave marks this planet indelibly. You see, I wasn't a creator, I was more the curator of nature. And I set things straight with homosexuals right now. I don't hate ya. I was a simple being that happened to be the first to use such powers, but I just laid the ground. It was you that built the towers. It was you that invented bombs and the fear that comes with them. It was you that invented money and the corrupt economic systems. You invented terms like just war and terms like friendly fire. It was you that didn't know when to stop digging deep, when to stop building higher. It was you that exhausted the resources I carefully laid out on this earth. It was you that saw these problems come but credit them little worth. It was you that used my teachings for your own personal gain. It was you that committed such tragedies even though they were in my name. So I apologise for my mistakes, or my words are misconstrued, but it's apologies to Mother Nature, cause I created you.
Wow, I gotta say that's my favorite from what I can remember, because it's been like a week and a bit since we did the last one. But that's my favorite one so far, by landslide. Loved the theme. The sorry, not just the theme. The
Message.
The way that was told. The writing is really strong, and like kudos to Dan Lessac. That's the guy doing the music for this, right?
That's right. That's my
Scroobius Pip
understanding.
is the art, the singing or the rapping. I thought that was really well done. I like the sound of the song. Yeah. So like very strong in a lot of elements that came together to making that song very well crafted song. Yeah.
Yeah, that was I agree, and I actually like the message too. I mean, I left organized religion, 7 or 8 years ago, and I still consider myself. I hate the term spiritual, but I don't know what that means. Soul searching. I still believe in doing good to the world, to ourselves, to each other. All that, because Christian values, or you could say, or whatever. But that being said, I don't know where I place myself when it comes to God, and part of this letter, like the argument at the beginning was, or the argument we've made to God is like, how could God let this happen? Blah blah blah. And it's like, this is a nice. Not a defense of God, so to speak, but the idea being like, well, it wasn't me that created war.
Yeah.
It wasn't me that built bombs. It wasn't me that, built, all these things and created teachings for your own personal gain.
Yeah.
I gave you a planet and said, hey, cultivate it, have some fun, enjoy the sunrise. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, not to say that I've ever built a bomb, but the point is, I know that I have said, or I felt like, why is this happening? Or I don't get it. And I still don't get it. I don't think suffering should happen per se. But the point is, yeah, I know humans cause all the strife. I get it. And if you go back to the building blocks of the world, just the idea that it would be nice just to sit down with your loved ones and watch the sunrise. Humans messed everything up. We know. Yeah. We suck.
It fits more in line with how I believe, like my personal beliefs. I know what you're saying. Where like I strongly believe that there's this, everyone has the ability to choose. In fact, that's a very important part of my own belief structure, that you can make choices. In fact, if you were to put that to God, I would say God very much defends everyone's right to choose, to the point of like willing to let stuff happen, not because he's trying to teach you a lesson, but because if he steps over that line and starts doing things, he negates your ability to choose. So I really feel like it fits in line with what I would have thought a letter from God to man might be. Yeah, so I like it.
All right, there you go. Yeah, that was their 4th single from this album, so it's a good song to release as a single. Okay. All right, the next one's called Magician's Assistant. All right, this was not a single, but it's a good job to have, all the same.
Well, Mickey Mouse didn't like that job.
Oh. Doesn't have the lyrics for you, so I'll read them on my end. Sorry.
It's tragic. You tried to cut yourself in half, but this ain't magic. In fact, it's something far more dark and more dramatic. Self-harm, that's what they call it, because it just affects you. It's your life, your body, so you can choose what you do. And if one day you can't rein it in, and of your last breath you are the only witness, then so be it, because it's your last breath, and it's nobody else's business. But how about your little sister? I mean, you think your life's been bad, and by no means am I belittling that, because I know the troubles you've had. But a teen finding out her big sister chose death over life, finding out instead of turning to her with your problems, you turn to a knife. That's a whole lot of pain to deal with, and a whole lot of damage. And the only role model she has now is little more than words engraved in granite. But as you said before, this just affects you. It's your life, your body, so you can choose what you do. And if one day you can't rein it in, and of your last breath you are the only witness, then so be it, because it's your last breath, and it's nobody else's business. But then, how about your parents? God knows they've done all they can to support. Yeah, you didn't grow up in a mansion, but they gave you the best life they could afford. And the second that last bit of life trickles out and your lungs cease to breathe, they've failed the most important task that they will ever receive. They've failed to give their child a life that's worth living. And that's a failure that, as long as they live, of themselves is unforgiving. But as you said before, this just affects you. It's your life, your body, so you can choose what you do. And if one day you can't rein it in, and of your last breath you are the only witness, then so be it, because it's your last breath, and it's nobody else's business. But How about your friends? How did they fail to see this coming? I mean, you can only hold so much pain, and recently it seems like the tap's been left running. Families grow distant, but it's meant to be your friends you can rely on. They shouldn't just be there for fun and drinks, they should be the shoulder to cry on. They should be the ones you turn to when you can't talk to your family. But they have failed too, because although you didn't ask for it, their support should have been mandatory. But as you said before, this just affects you. It's your life, your body, so you can choose what you do. And if one day you can't rein it in, and of your last breath you are the only witness, then so be it, because it's your last breath, and it's nobody else's business. But then, what about me? What kind of boyfriend am I? Instead of living a life I was a big part of, you would rather die. Instead of fighting through together and turning things around, you decided the grass was greener on the other side of the ground. Of our shared lives there was nothing worth living for as far as you could see. So if that's the case for you, then what is there left in this life for me? But as you said before, this just affects you. It's your life, your body, your sister, your parents, your friends and your partner, so you can choose what you do. And if one day you can't rein it in, and of your last breath you are the only witness, then fuck everybody else, because that ain't something that you've got to live with. The magician's assistant. Too many problems to listen. Not enough people to listen. The magician's assistant. The magician's assistant.
You know what this reminded me of? If you were to change the music, just change the, almost keep the same. Well, I mean, it's a different type of singing, but this reminds me of, I guess, the rap or electronic version of La Dispute.
Oh yeah, I can see some of the.
Yeah, like that style right there. It's just him telling the story, talking about suicide and how it affects other people. Sure. And you said, but that whole, and then the way it's the prose. Mm-hmm. Is the same of the and then that could have been done by like La Dispute could cover that, if that makes sense, make it their own with the electric guitars and I don't know, that's what it spoke to me. That's the, I mean, it's not a song. That's what I thought. It's not a song. Where have I heard this sound before? Yeah, this is La Dispute. That's their style. That's what they do with different music background, of course.
Yeah, and
style. He yells too. More.
Yeah, the theme is similar to La Dispute.
They could easily do that. If that was a La Dispute song with him, that panic voice that he does, that that you would be like, oh yeah, that's La Dispute.
Yeah. So I kind of like that. It's an attempt to try and call out a very sensitive topic by using some of the lies that sometimes people tell themselves when they're caught up in it. So I thought like it's what he's doing with writing this music is noble. Yeah, it's a noble cause to try and address a very hard to address topic. If you and I were like, hey, write a song about suicide, we'd screw it up royally.
I wouldn't be, I wouldn't know how to do without, I don't know. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's where my kudos goes for this song. There was a weird thing going on with the audio, and maybe it's it's hard to hear him. It's like the music was kind of drowning out his music, and I was kind of like trying to listen harder to hear what he was saying because the music was a little too loud. So that's just a mixing issue. But generally, I thought, a hard topic to address. So kudos to him.
Absolutely. Okay, the next one, Nathan, is called "Back from Hell."
Oh, I just got back from hell, actually.
Oh, good. Welcome back.
Oh.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of my benevolence is evident. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. evident. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of my benevolence is evident. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of I'm sentimental. Oh no, I mean I'm sentimental. When I don't get what I want, I find it's hard just to be gentle. Gentle the rental of some self-control. When you lose your mind is when you start to find your soul. I'm both this morning when I woke up. All the thoughts that I had just broke up. Ran past my dreams a bit choked up. Just memories I pressed and spoke up. I fucked with some that I wasn't expecting. Once in the battles I asked me questions. Deeper I looked till the hate-filled eyes. Whereas are you only in disguise? So I jumped to my feet. How the fuck I never come so weak? Too soon I admit defeat. Grab the pedal so I rhyme to the beat. And I'll roll. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of my benevolence is evident. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of my benevolence is evident. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of my... As time went by, I realised you can't just drop out. But I'm telling you, man, it's hard to block out the sound that rebels and resounds again off the walls of my mind, cause I miss my friend. But now I'm on a mission to mend. They think that broke make listen again. Strip down, redesign, construct and improve. Where the rest procrastinate, I'll be making my move. Hope you come up elevated, but chances are I'll be inebriated. But that's cool, as long as the rain ain't stayed. The things I've learned have been erased and weighted. When you forget about the hand you dealt, what really matters is the things you felt. So fucking bring on the good and bad times. Rapping the words like a band of minds. When you forget about the hand you dealt, what really matters is the things you felt. So fucking bring on the good and bad times. Rapping the words like a band of minds. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of my benevolence is evident. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of my benevolence is evident. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of my benevolence is evident. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of my benevolence is evident. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of my benevolence is evident. When I get back from hell again, I'm gonna be so elegant. The relevance of my benevolence is evident.
The best part of that song was the ending. I'm not saying the ending, but I like the sound effects of the ending. I kind of wish they had that theme that sounds maybe more throughout the song, but I like the sound effects of the end there.
Yeah, I like Dan Lissac's his sound. I think, like I said this in the earlier reaction, I'm not like a big fan of Scroobius Pip's just the
vocals.
Yeah,
just the way he sounds. Look, he's a rapper / singer. That's his instrument. You don't have not every singer appeals, not every voice appeals to every person.
And
it can't.
I'm sure it appeals to others. So he's not my favorite, but I do like Dan Lissac's sound, and I'd be curious to explore more of that sound because it's got me intrigued.
Right.
Yeah,
there you go. We'd like to welcome those in our Discord who are offering their thoughts and insights. We got Paul and Murdoch there, so thanks guys for joining us. Paul's digging this. He likes this stuff.
Oh, I know. I saw Paul's comments on the last one how much he likes it. So
that's good. Well, the next song, Nathan, is called "Thou Shalt Always Kill." Thou shalt always kill.
Oh,
this is the first single from the album. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Direct victim. Thou shalt not worship pop idols or follow lost prophets. Thou shalt not take the names of Johnny Cash, Joe Strummer, Johnny Harmon, Desmond Decker, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix or Syd Barrett in vain. Thou shalt not think any man over the age of 30 that plays with a child that is not their own is a paedophile. Some people are just nice. Thou shalt not read Enemy.
I like that.
Thou shalt not stop liking a band just because they've become popular. Thou shalt not question Stephen Fry. Thou shalt not judge a book by its cover. Thou shalt not judge Lethal Weapon by Danny Glover. Thou shalt not buy Coca-Cola products. Thou shalt not buy Nestle products. Thou shalt not go into the woods with your boyfriend's best friend, take drugs and cheat on him. Thou shalt not fall in love so easily. Thou shalt not use poetry, art or music to get into girls' pants. Use it to get into their heads. Thou shalt not watch Hollyoaks. just a band. Led Zeppelin, just a band. The Beach Boys, just a band. The Sex Pistols, just a band. The Clash, just a band. Crass, just a band. Minor Threat, just a band. The Cure, just a band. The Smiths, just a band. Nirvana, just a band. The Pixies, just a band. Oasis, just a band. Radiohead, just a band. Block Party, just a band. The Arctic Monkeys, just a band. The Next Big Thing, just a band. That should give equal worth to tragedies that occur in non-English speaking countries as to those that occur in English speaking countries. Let's remember that guns, bitches and bling were never part of the four elements and never will be. That should not make repetitive generic music. That should not make repetitive generic music. That should not make repetitive generic music. Should not make repetitive generic music. That shall not be my ride. That should not scream if you want to go faster. That should not move to the sound of the wickedness. That should not make some noise for Detroit. When I say hey, that should not say ho. When I say hip, that should not say hop. When I say he, say she, say we, say make some noise. Kill me. Why have you bothered re-recording this vocal? Thou shalt not quote me happy. Thou shalt not shake it like a Polaroid picture. Thou shalt not wish your girlfriend was a freak like me. Thou shalt spell the word Phoenix P-H-E-O-N-X, not P-H-O-E-N-X, regardless of the Oxford English Dictionary tells you. Thou shalt not express your shock at the fact that Sharon got with Brad at the club last night by saying, is it? Thou shalt think for yourselves. And most importantly of all, thou shalt always kill.
I guess this is a big music outro for you for your Dan. Okay. All right. So
like I would suspect you resonate with a lot of that. Like as I was listening to that, I was kind of like, I bet you Ryan like identifies with quite a bit of, and myself included, but I think you more than me. Yeah.
Well, what way? What do you mean?
One of the things that we talk about this a lot, actually. The, a band is just a band. Like you can get all like, and sometimes you get all worked up about those things. But I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Where it's like
the presumption is
we get sometimes we get requests on this channel for certain songs, or we do a reaction to a song that we like. And then like the fandom of that band just like loses their minds, and they cannot see, they put them on this pedestal of, and that's that line there, thou shalt not put musicians and recording artists on ridiculous pedestals, no matter how great they are or were. And like some of the Beatles fans that responded in our comments, they cannot see that we're just these two guys that don't know anything about anything. And So I just thought, like, man, there's a lot of stuff here that kind of resonates with us, and I think specifically with you. So anyway,
yeah, this didn't get the part 1 didn't get a lot of views, which is fine. So I'm going to say this for part 2, probably even less views. So people that comment and gush about the band that we're reacting to, I will never like your comment. It's so nauseous. You know what I mean by that? It's like, yeah. It's like, okay, this is band X, and Nathan and I reacted to band X and their song, great, and we'll talk. When people give us the encyclopedia or Wikipedia information about the band and or tell us how great that band is, I'm like, so either but if people say, hey guys, great job, great reaction, enjoyed your comments, say, oh yeah, that's where you get the like, because you can listen to the band without us. You don't need us. Go listen to them, go fan over you, go slobber over them. But people slobber over their bands. I don't want to read this. Like that's it's not a fandom channel. It's it gets exhausting after a while. Yeah. All right. We want our fans. We don't want.
Yeah.
No, but you know what I'm saying. Trust me. If anyone listening to this who's a YouTuber or creator of their own to some degree, you don't want to hear. We know the bands are awesome. That's why they're popular. That's why we're reacting. we like really the Beatles are great. I had no idea. That's amazing. Thanks for telling me. And just so you know, Paul plays solo on Taxman. Just in case you're wondering. We should start every video that we do with the Beatles as. All right. Let's go. Next song. What's the next one called?
Okay. Next one is. I gotta play it to find out what it is. Waiting for the beat to kick in. This is the 11-minute.
Okay.
Silently, I step up with a subversive subtext. Try to feed the need for more than just remedial subjects. Place my faith in the belief that the general public will open up their minds to more than just an industry puppet. I ain't a preacher preaching doom and gloom. Well, not just shit. If there's something I feel strongly about, then I'll discuss it. And if I only make one album before I kick the bucket, I'll hold the album to my heart in my grave and say, fuck it. Waiting for the beat to kick in, but it never does. Waiting for my feet to grow wings that lift me above all of these tiresome things that we know and love. Waiting for the beat to kick in, but it never does. Waiting for the beat to kick in, but it never does. Waiting for my feet to grow wings that lift me above all of these tiresome things that we know and love. Waiting for the beat to kick in, but it never does. A lot of my poems and writings seem to start with me waking up or being in a dream or dreamlike state. Now, this implies a certain level of abstraction in my work. You might say I'm keeping it surreal, but I'd rather you didn't. The fact is, I sleep a lot. It's as simple as that. And I like sleeping, man. It's a nice place to be. Wait. I was walking along through unfamiliar streets and it felt strange because there didn't seem to be anyone else around. I don't know where I was, but it had the feel of New York, but not New York in real life, the New York you see in old films. I can't really explain why, it just had that vibe. Every step I took felt somehow more dramatic. So I kept walking, and down an alley behind a bar, sitting on some metal steps, I saw a man. From the look and smell of him, it was clear he enjoyed a drink, but he wasn't in such a state I felt him to be any kind of irrational threat, so I approached him with due care. Ah, Mr. Pip, he said out loud, we've been awaiting you. My name is Elwood P. Dowd. Now just what he meant by we, I didn't really get, but all the same I took a seat next to him on the step. He said you'll meet a few people before this day is through who will administer advice and guidelines to you. Now what each of us says, I'll tell you now is true. Whether or not you take that advice is for you to choose. At that point he acted like someone had whispered in his ear, which, since no one else was there, was pretty damn weird. Awkwardly I looked away and kinda played with my beard. He cleared his throat for a second and then said, listen here. In this life you can be oh so smart or oh so pleasant. For years I was smart, I recommend pleasant. Being smart can make you rich and bring respect and reverence, but the rewards of being pleasant are far more incandescent. With this information I was encouraged to walk on. I continued alone through these empty streets, thinking over what Elwood had said, but at the same time thinking about how fucking strange the day had been so far. I was in my own little world when a hand was placed on my chest, and a guy said, look out, there's some broken glass on the floor there. I looked up. He said, hi, pleased to meet you. My name is Lloyd Dobler. I'll get straight to the point, won't take too much time from you. I'm probably the youngest person you'll get advice from today. And you may think a guy my age wouldn't have anything to say, but it's said that observation, that old age brings wisdom, and I observe every single life lesson I'm given. I won't attempt to tell you about how to love or be loved, because you get a different gene each time that lantern is rubbed, but I will offer you advice on dealing with life. It's ups and it's downs, it's troubles and it's strife. Now I'm sure you've had times you felt down and angry. You wanted to lash out, punch a wall and be manly. But the question I pose now will offer you a plan B, and maybe some peace and quiet for your friends and family. How hard is it to decide to be in a good mood, and then just be in a good mood? That's all I have to say, 'cause it's a straight up fact. You control your emotions, it's as simple as that. He walked off then, leaving me to contemplate this brief encounter. I'd barely had time to realise I was being taught something before he was gone, and I was back on my way. On I walked, and almost immediately I spotted the next guy that couldn't be clearer. This guy was standing on the street corner, pacing back and forth, skinny looking guy, leather jacket, tight jeans, retro look. I've rarely seen someone look quite so uncomfortable in their own skin, twitching, smoothing his hair back, kicking the floor, looking up and down the street. He clearly didn't enjoy waiting around, so I approached him quickly to put him out of his misery and to let him start his spiel. Hi, my name is Billy Brown. I ain't gonna give you some quote. Instead, I'm gonna use some stuff that you wrote. Always had the feeling I could never be the villain, 'cause the villain in the films is always backlit. Always had the feeling I could never be the villain, 'cause the villain in the films is always backlit. Now I find it pleasing to defend myself with reason, but this clock is always sitting on my back. Tick, tick, tick. Then, no explosion, but persistence brings erosion. Like a picture overly exposed, and like a fox that's been run over in the road and Basically what I'm trying to say to you is you don't achieve anything by letting the past dwell within you. Getting all pent up and angry about stuff just eats away inside you. What's that other line of yours? If you can't forgive and forget, how's this? Forget forgiving and just accept, then that's it. See, that's how it's gotta be. Then you can fall in love, get on with your life and be free. Almost before he'd even finished that sentence, he was off down the street, hands in his pockets, hurrying away. Now quite accepted the totally surreal time I was having, I rounded the corner and continued on to my next encounter. Resigned to the fact this was some kind of dream or hallucination, I made my way through the now dark street to the one window that had a light on. I walked through the unlocked door, which incidentally had blinds down, a silhouetted figure like a film noir scene, but sadly no sign saying private eye. As I entered, a voice promptly said, "This journey's almost over, I'm the only one left. Allow me to introduce myself, my name is Walter Neff. The other guys have taught you things of great positive worth, but I'm afraid I'm here to bring you back down to earth. So you can live your life in control and be nice, but even that will not promise you a happy life. You may think yourself in general to be a nice guy, but I'm telling you now, that right there is a lie. Even the nicest of guys has some nasty within them. You don't have to be backlit to be the villain. Whether it be greed, lust, or just plain vindictiveness, there's a level of malevolence inside of all of us. You can paint yourself an image and live in your own little dream, but this ain't a dream, it's one big silver screen. So when you think you've got your happy ending, don't ever forget it. Ain't over till you hear the sound of your end credits. You'll be waiting for the beat to kick in, but it never does. Waiting for your feet to grow wings that lift you above all of the tiresome things that you know and love. Waiting for the beat to kick in, but it never does. Waiting for the beat to kick in, but it never does. Waiting for your feet to grow wings that lift you above all of the tiresome things that you know and love. Waiting for the beat to kick in, but it never does.
I think that's actually one of my favorites. I know you didn't have the lyrics, so it's kind of, but it's like this guy's going through life or whatever, and he has 3 or 4 different gentlemen or people telling him like life lessons, like these things. You know, control your emotions, be positive. Also, don't be the villain in a story. But what I like at the end, the last guy says, "Now all those are good things," and he's, "Oops, there's your hidden song."
I'll pause there.
Yeah, and he says, you may think yourself in general to be a nice guy, but I'm telling you now that right there is a lie. Even the nicest of guys has some nasty within them. You don't have to be backlit to be the villain. Whether it be greed, lust, or just plain vindictiveness, there's a level of malevolence inside all of us. So yeah, but I just like how this guy at the end says, you know, life's kind of like a movie. We're kind of different characters throughout that journey until the credits roll at the end. I think overall we try to live a good life, but you know, when you go through life, this depends on the day. Like I said, if you recorded me on a bad day, and that's the only thing you ever saw of me, but well, this guy's a real dick. No, but I was in that moment, but that's not who I am 24/7. But yeah, in that 5-minute moment out of a 24-hour day, I was a real jerk.
Yeah, which leads me to believe that that's one of the reasons why when people are skipping through our reactions, if they've never seen us before, they catch like a little piece of whatever we said, and they're like, "What? They said that?" Yeah, I'm sure that's happened a few times.
No, that's fair. Yeah, well, screw them. I don't care. All right. Well, I think this is the last song. I'm a little confused. I think this might be the last song. It's either a hidden track within this track, and if it is, it's called "Reading My Dreams."
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like this is similar to the very beginning, like the. I can't remember.
Yeah, Paul says that you're right.
Such a long day, and work has been stressful as she arrives home to me, weary and restful. She's had such a long day, and work has been stressful as she arrives home to me, weary and restful. To relax her, I lead her to lay on the bed and remove all the clothes from her waist to her head. To relax her, I lead her to lay on the bed and remove all the clothes from her waist to her head. My thumbs gently knead the base of her back, and my nails trace patterns, not leaving a scratch. My thumbs gently knead the base of her back, and my nails trace patterns, not leaving a scratch. My hands plot a wandering route up her spine, then onto her shoulders to help her unwind. My hands plot a wandering route up her spine, and then onto her shoulders to help her unwind. I pray the emotion is taking effect as I lay a kiss upon the nape of her neck. I pray the emotion is taking effect as I lay a kiss upon the nape of her neck. She rolls onto her back, her eyes squinted and dreamy as I gaze at her smile and the beauty beneath me. She rolls onto her back, her eyes squinted and dreamy as I gaze at her smile and the beauty beneath me. I gently lean forward, presenting a kiss onto the lips so long I have missed. I gently lean forward, presenting a kiss onto the lips so long I have missed. When our eyes meet like this and it's just like before, we both instantly realise we need nothing more. When our eyes meet like this and it's just like before, we both instantly realise we need nothing more. I adjust to rest upon her sweet breast and on her torso more so. I adjust to rest upon her sweet breast and on her torso more so. In each other's arms and with interlocked hands lay two smiling faces and one set of plans. In each other's arms and with interlocked hands lay two smiling faces and one set of plans. In each other's arms and with interlocked hands lay two smiling faces and one set of plans. In each other's arms and with interlocked hands lay two smiling faces and one set of plans. In each other's arms and with interlocked hands lay two smiling faces and one set of plans. In each other's arms and with interlocked hands lay two smiling faces and one set of plans. In each other's arms and with interlocked hands lay two smiling faces and one set of plans. In each other's arms and with interlocked hands lay two smiling faces and one set of plans. In each other's arms and with interlocked hands.
The music reminds me of Minecraft.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Well,
there you go. That is the closer, a soft, melancholy closer to the album. much of a song really, but I can see how it ties the theme up with this dreamlike state of the album. This album, like our overall feelings on the album. What's yours? What's your overall feeling on part 1 and 2?
So obviously, I'm not going to rehash stuff that I've said, but I do think generally there's a lot of really important things that are said in this album that I think are worth saying. My worry here is because I think there's definitely fans of this band. My worry is that they go and do what he says not to do, which is to hold them up in a pedestal and say like this stuff is great and everything they do is amazing, and to just kind of like get like there's some really important things that they said in that one song that I was like that's a huge risk to take as an artist to say is don't hold other things up on a pedestal, and then that includes them too. So what I've noticed actually in the comments for this particular band is that people that have listened to our reactions, they haven't been very critical. Like we haven't been like fanboying over these guys. Yeah. And they haven't been like negative back. You know what I mean? Which is great. I think that's Scroobius Pip is an intelligent fellow and is exploring some very deep themes, and so he's open to that kind of analysis as well. And also so at the end of the day, our reaction to this has been overly positive, and intelligent, and then I encourage that intelligence, and so that's why I enjoyed it.
Can I cross my eyes to show my intelligence? Hey, that's totally great, Nathan. Oh, that hurts. That wasn't very intelligent to do. I forgot how much it hurts to cross your eyes. That's sorry for those people. You ever talk to somebody with a lazy eye? You're like, it's very disconcerting because they're like, I worked with this guy who had a lazy eye. I was like, do I look? Am I supposed to lean to the left or? Hey, look at me when I'm talking to you. I think people with lazy eyes, I think they have advantage like looking down girls' blouses. Yeah. They're lucky. Hey, I'm looking at you. What are you talking about? I don't see nothing. Does the lazy eye see something else? Like, does it see to the left and to the right? Anyways. All right, well, there you go. There's our reaction to Scroobius Pip and the what's it called again? Scooby-Doo and the
Dan Lassac.
All right. No, this was fun. Thank you so much. And this was for Peter. So Peter, he's a member of our Patreon and our Discord channel. Thank you, Peter, for giving this pledge to us to do and your patience as we've done this journey. So yeah, certainly out of our wheelhouse. So this was, it's a lot to take in for a whole album. Just to listen to something you and I don't listen to this music, so to speak. But I'm glad we did.
Yeah,
it was. And join our Discord if you'd like what we've done and want to hear more. Come join our Patreon for other perks and what have you. And we'll see you on the next video.
We will see you on the next one.